Hello, my name is Peter Theunis, and together with Endava, we are diving headfirst into how companies are shaping the future of payments. We are looking in our network of experts, and together with them, we discuss new technologies, new strategies, how they define and give direction on payment innovation. Today, we have a talk with Denise Johansson, who is the co-founder and co-CEO of Infuse. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
To start with, tell me a bit more about yourself. Who are you, and what is Infuse doing?
Yes, I'm living in the Nordics. I've been working within payments for almost 20 years now. I think Nordics have always been a forerunner in digital development of payments. So I think that it's been fascinating from day one, but especially the last 5 to 10 years, we have seen even more development happening. We started Infuse almost 6 years ago. Next week it's 6 years. And we started a company to enable even faster change within the payment industry. And we offer what we call card as a service for the whole financial industry, actually, with everything from card issuing, ledger, keeping the ledger, transaction processing, and even scheme membership and EMI license to our customer.
Okay, good. Now, when we did the preparation of this, we talked a lot about embedded finance, embedded payments, and so on, which is quite a catchy name these days. How would you define this?
I think embedded finance is more than just a buzzword. Because now you hear it everywhere. But I think embedded finance is what we will see more and more of in our daily life. And of course, as a normal consumer, you won't even be thinking of it. But for us in the industry, it's all about making life easier for the everyday consumer, whether you are consuming as consumer or a business. So it's just going to be embedded in the services that we use on daily basis or weekly basis. And it's going to make our life easier and hopefully also give more compliance and protection to how we use our money.
Yeah. Okay. Now, on one of the conferences that I was a while ago, they described embedded finance like it's giving customer choice, consumer protection, and frictionless connectivity at reduced cost. Now, a card transaction or a card payment typically was a lot of manual interaction. How do you see then in your business how these card payments fit in this model?
Yeah, I'm maybe not fully agreeing on that, even though I can understand from where it comes. But I think from a consumer perspective, it's not about the reduced cost, because as a consumer, we don't look at the transaction price. We looked at what goods or service did I buy to what price. What it is for me, embedded finance is about making it frictionless. So how many clicks do I need to do to make a purchase? And of course, compliance and consumer protection plays a really important part of it. But so compliance, protection, and then just user friendliness. I want it to go fast. I don't have time to strong authentication every time and so on. So the fewer clicks, the better for the consumer.
Yeah. And you have the right models today in place to allow that because in the traditional cards processing business, it was a lot of manual labor, let's say. You're a newcomer, a new technology company. Did you solve this issue, let's say?
Yes, I think that we are as good as the industry allows us to be at the moment. Like for our customers, we can do full onboarding from KYC to high value payment in less than 2 minutes. So definitely in the right direction. And then of course, the use of a modern service should only be 2 clicks on my watch or tap on the phone and go or if it's embedded in an application, I should be identified as soon as I open up the application, facial recognition or whatever it is, and then the service should be ready for use. And that's what we do for our customers.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, because I was talking with a typical traditional processor the other day, and he was talking about that they still scan the documents for the onboarding. So that's a totally different way. Now, if we're going to look more to the business cases, what do you see today in B2B or B2C? What embedded finance you support typically, or do your customers want to launch?
Yeah, so I think that if you look at last year, we had the biggest growth within mobility, so the vertical of mobility. And it's about using public transportation within a full city as a tourist. How do I get access everywhere? What apps do I need to download? How does it work on the bus, on the underground, taxis, whatever? Or then using a service as Wim in London, where it's embedded in one app and I have full public transport according to my need when I visit there. That's a great example. But of course, it's also the new vertical maybe for this year is then crypto agencies. So whenever I'm a crypto holder of various currencies there, how can I get access to the funds and use them in my everyday life as well? Yeah. And that's where we now see the cards being added more rapidly than before. So the fascinating thing with the financial industry is that it's moving fast, and we can anticipate what verticals comes next and start to embed cards, but we are never sure, and we need to be adapting to the market at all time.
Okay, good. Now, maybe a controversial question. I'm also just like you, my main background is the cards business and card payments. But how do you see the future, taking in account open banking, the account-to-account payment methods, instant payments, and all the other things that we see these days? What future do you see?
I definitely think that we will soon start to see more and more use of open banking. I had my hopes back in 2019 when it was launched, but as being from the inside of the industry, you are more able to adapt to new trends than if you are not from there. But I definitely see some trends that we are starting to see services utilizing open banking. So I do think we are getting there. I think what we will see even more of is rather closed loop networks being created wherever it adds value to the user of the service. So is it then open banking APIs? Is it card transaction and the card schemes trails? Or is it just like an own network, what we call within the card world, the closed loop transactions? And then whoever is within that closed loop will have even faster account-to-account transaction. So what the open banking is still struggling with is the clicks, and that you actually have to embed the bank identification method to the payment flows. So we don't yet see the user friendliness there as what you can do within the closed loop networks.
Yeah, clear. Yeah, I also think that the form factor of a card is a long-lasting thing that we already know for many years, and maybe over the years we get other tokens. You just talked about your watch, but behind your watch it's the same card. So I think we are not yet ready to go in retirement the next 10. Denise, I would like to thank you. The session is already over, and that you worked with us on this Payment Talk session. We look forward to see what Infuse is going to bring us on the market for the next period. And of course, Endava wishes you a lot of success in there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for having me.